Now let's move down to the 4 different classification of cancer drugs. See, mostly the cancer drugs are classified into many different types on the basis of their chemical structure, right? On the basis of their specific targets, right? On the basis of if they are manipulating the hormonal regimen of the body, or clear broad classification of on what stage of the cell cycle are they are acting. So let's learn the broader classification, and then in future lectures we'll break it down into the simpler classification or the targeted ones, right? So the first so the first classification of the chemotherapy of the drugs used for treating cancer is alkylating agents. I'll be writing it down somewhere because I do not want to disturb this. So this is, first one is alkylating agents. Welcome everyone back to Learn Medicine by Dr. Nikita. So here we are into the series of learning chemotherapy. This is probably the second lecture about that. Let's discuss about these 4 broad classifications: alkylating agents, antimetabolites, anti-tumor antibiotics, and antimicrotubular agents, right? So in these 4 categories, let's start from the first one. I have rubbed the M phase. I have written it here, the M phase. So we need not go into much detail about that. We already discussed this. The first one, alkylating agents. The alkylating agents examples are nitrogen mustards. We must have heard of this name, nitrogen mustards. Though cisplatin also functions like alkylating agents, it is not falling into that category, but this also functions into the same way. Cisplatin has a completely different category, but the mechanism belongs to the category of alkylating agents. So alkylating agents, they are targeting this phase, the G1 phase, or when it enters when the G1 phase is completed and the cell is entering the S phase, somewhere between that. Here, when the cell is multiplying its organelles, then what is happening? The alkylating agents, they form the alkylating agents. The alkylating agents, first of all, they are anti-proliferative drugs. So they are prohibiting the process of proliferation, of cell proliferation. You must have heard of cell proliferation and differentiation, how the cell is growing and when new cells are being formed, the cell growth process. So they are targeting the cell growth process. How? In this phase, when the cell is entering the G1 phase, or that is being completed, they are targeting the DNA. DNA is a double helix structure. In the DNA, we have purines and pyrimidines bound to each other, right? We know that adenine binds to thymine and guanine binds to cytosine. In this case, we have already discussed it here. Adenine binds to thymine and guanine binds to cytosine. We know that A binds double bond to thymine and G bonds with a cytosine with a triple bond. So if I say somehow some drug you are consuming and that is binding to the nucleotide base pairs by its alkyl groups. So these drugs have alkyl groups, and with the help of these alkyl groups, they are binding to the nucleotide base pairs, and that is causing cross-linking, right? That is causing cross-linking. So this cross-linking obviously will destabilize the DNA, and when the DNA will be destabilized, no more entering of the DNA into cell S phase and no more DNA replication will be happening. So this is how they target. I am clearing this off again. Let's focus on the bigger diagram. So if I told you that some drug is entering these alkylating agents with the help of its alkyl groups, they start to disturb the bonding. Okay, So when the bonding is disturbed, cross-linking is happening. This is disturbing the stability of the DNA, and the DNA is now unstable, so it will not undergo replication. How is this happening? Let's come back here. Either the fragments are separated. The DNA helix is now disrupted. So the DNA helix is now disrupted, leading to small fragments. The DNA is already broken. Therefore, no DNA replication will happen. DNA will not replicate. It will not be able to replicate. Or in this case, when the alkylating agents are given, the human body will start releasing some enzymes which will correct these alkyl groups, which will remove these alkyl groups. But in that process, it will again break the DNA into smaller fragments to remove the misreading, to remove the cross-linking. So again, smaller fragments will destabilize the DNA and DNA replication will not happen. Thirdly, these drugs also, they might be responsible for causing mutation. So if mutation is happening here and these nucleotide base pairs are replaced by others, like as in adenine is replaced by thymine, or guanine is replaced by cytosine, then in that case of mutation, again there is no strong bond formed between the two parallel ends. When the bonds are not strong, if we have purines on both ends or if we have pyrimidine on both ends, that will obviously not lead to a stabilized DNA. DNA helix will split up and the DNA replication will not happen. This cell cycle will be inhibited there and then. So if a tumor cell is stopped at some point, the tumor cell will not enter into mitosis, the tumor cell will not replicate, the tumor cell will not form more cells. That is how we are controlling the growth of the tumor cell. So the first targeted therapy, that is alkylating agents, they are responsible for binding their alkyl groups. With the help of their alkyl groups, they are binding to the nucleotide base pair, causing cross linkage, which is disrupting the DNA, and this DNA will not be stabilized. Double helix will split up and there are two different fragments. The strands will be separated and they cannot form a bond between them, because either they have undergone mutation or there are small fragments which are being formed due to the human body correction, or they have directly destabilized them and leading to inhibition of the process of replication. So DNA is disturbed. Now let's come down to the second one. So I hope you understood this one. Okay, we are skipping this one. We'll discuss this in the end, because for that I need a larger board and we have to rub this off. Let's come down to the third one, that is anti-tumor antibiotics. So anti-tumor antibiotics, they do not have a specific function. Like you cannot say that this is the exact function of the anti-tumor antibiotics. They are working by different mechanisms. So it is not very clear which one they follow precisely. First one, either they are inhibiting the enzyme topoisomerase. I think so we clearly see where is topoisomerase. I'll explain you the function here. Or they are targeting the enzyme helicase. Or they are producing ROS, or they are targeting the inhibition of topoisomerase 1. This one was topoisomerase 2, this one is topoisomerase 1. So we'll come down to each of the point. First one, that is inhibition of topoisomerase. In the process of DNA replication, this enzyme, topoisomerase 2. So topoisomerase 1 and 2, they both prevent the supercoiling of the DNA, because here the DNA is unwinding. Anything which is supercoiled, when you start to clear the ends, the coiled end becomes supercoiled, right? So they are supercoiling the DNA. How? They are breaking the fragments, they are releasing the coiling, and they are reattaching the DNA segments. So if some drug is targeting the inhibition of topoisomerase, then there will be supercoiling. If there will be supercoiling, then the helicase will not be able to move forward. That is, the DNA strands will not unwind. There will be no unwinding of DNA. And when the DNA will not unwind, no DNA polymerase will run. When DNA polymerase will not run, DNA fragments, DNA leading and lagging strands will not be formed. When DNA strands will not be formed, DNA will not be replicated. We will only have single DNA. This is how they are checking the growth of the tumor cell. So it is targeting the tumor cell, and targeting it how? It is not allowing it to form its copies. It is not allowing it to complete the G2 phase. The S phase is not completed. The DNA is not replicating. So when the cell cycle is stopped midway, the entire cell cycle is halted and the cell cannot multiply and it dies. Second one, either it is targeting the enzyme helicase. So if the drug is not targeting topoisomerase, it is targeting helicase. Helicase was responsible for unwinding. Here it is not allowing the releasing of the coiling. So further unwinding will be not possible. If helicase is stopped, then initial unwinding of the DNA cannot happen. It will always be a double helix structure. These strands will also not be formed. So in helicase, it will be a double helix structure, and when DNA is a double helix structure, it cannot undergo replication. We do not have any strands here, and the process of DNA replication will stop. The cell cycle will be affected, and you cannot have any copies. So this is how it is checking the growth of the tumor cells. Or the anti-tumor antibiotics are targeting by increasing the ROS. What is ROS? ROS stands for reactive oxygen species, right? Many of the times you have heard that ROS is one of the primary reasons for causing cancer. ROS is one of the primary reasons for a lot of many diseases. These reactive oxygen species are very notorious because they trigger the cell to undergo apoptosis, right? Apoptosis, that is, they are triggering the cell death, untimely cell death, right? So if you are killing or causing an untimely cell death, you are causing apoptosis, so that drug is very useful, falls into the category of anti-tumor antibiotic and is checking the growth of the tumor cell by killing it. Next one, topoisomerase 1. So what is the difference between topoisomerase 1 and topoisomerase 2? So if I say topoisomerase 1 and I say topoisomerase 2, so both are basically responsible for preventing the supercoiling or clearing the supercoiling. But in case of topoisomerase 1, at one time it is only releasing the stress or releasing the coiling, writing it wrong. It is releasing the coiling from one strand. In case of topoisomerase 2, at one time it is releasing the coiling from two different strands, right? That is the main difference. So both these enzymes are present here. Either the drug, the antibiotic is targeting topoisomerase 2 or it is targeting topoisomerase 1. So I hope this is clear. Moving on to the next one. Sorry, I missed the name of the drugs, that is doxorubicin and daunorubicin. So these are the categories of drugs falling into the category of anti-tumor antibiotics. Falling into the category of anti-tumor antibiotics, and these are anthracyclines. So anthracyclines, these drugs are anti-tumor antibiotics. Thank you. Do like, share and subscribe to our channel Learn Medicine by Dr. Nikita. We are on social media platforms. We are on YouTube and on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And on my YouTube there is my email ID. You can drop in any suggestions. I would love if you drop in the comment section. That will help me to give a clear idea what the topics you want me to teach next. So keep following. Thank you.